Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be discussing how men fall in love. And I think this is a really important topic for many of you because a lot of you actually do the opposite of what works with men. And you try to make a man fall in love with you in the ways that would routinely make you feel good and would make you fall in love, but actually work in the opposite way for men. My name is Fareen. I'm a dating and intimacy and relationship coach. I focus very much on healing, and I also focus on moving into our like masculine and feminine energies for men and women, and really adopting those energies when we are in a relationship so that we can establish polarity. It's really important to have a relationship that is focused on fun and passion and play. And that can only really happen when we are embodied in our energy. And we can only be embodied in our energy when we have the awareness and insight into the trauma that we have faced earlier on in our life. And all of us have experienced some level of trauma. Most of us are like imbalanced and have had to do the work to become more and more balanced, especially when it comes to relationships. If you want to speak with me and you're a man and you're confused about your relationship, definitely book a call with me. Prior to this, I was a lawyer. I'm also an entrepreneur and a coach as well. So if you are interested in any of my work, I love to hear from you. If you've read any of my products or worked through my course, please email me. It helps me to get my message out as well. Now, let me get back to this topic about men and how they fall in love. Oftentimes, women will want to rush courtship. I talk about courtship a lot in What Men Want, in my ebook, and I talk about courtship so much because it's really important for a man to move slowly into dating. Oftentimes, women will rush into trying to solidify something with a man. And this again comes from our own healing and our own inner work and trauma from the past because we don't like being alone. So oftentimes if we're rushing to be in a committed relationship with someone, it's because we don't feel good being single and alone. And we don't feel good about ourselves. We haven't learned how to work with our inner child. We haven't learned how to communicate with her. I talk about her in Secrets of the Feminine Woman, and we haven't had a relationship with ourselves. And so we don't feel good within ourselves. And so when a man gives us validation, or if this is a man watching, when a woman gives us any sort of validation, we jump on that because we haven't learned how to give that to ourselves. And what will happen is we will rush courtship. Now, for a man, it's really important to pace relationships. And it's important for a man to be with women that enable this process because men are designed to be with women. Men will want to be with a woman, they don't want to be alone. And even men that are okay with being alone will be dating, etc., because most men are interested in feminine energy and it feels good for a man to be around a woman. It just livens his life up. Nothing can enliven a man's life like a woman, especially a woman in her feminine. It just it makes the world brighter. So a man, when he meets a woman that he's very attracted to, he's going to naturally try to see her as much as he can, and he's going to try to move things forward very quickly. The main reason he's going to do this, and this is just the truth, is because he's going to want to sleep with you. It's encoded in a man to sleep with a woman, and there's nothing wrong with this. In fact, if he wasn't trying to do this, that's a problem. Normally, men are going to want to sleep with you unless he's a little bit more mature. When a man reaches, I would say, like late 30s into 40s and onward, usually, and he's never been married, he's going to want something more serious. And if he's experienced a lot of relationships, when he was younger, that happened very quickly, he might want to take his time into dating as he gets older, and he might not want to move into sleeping with a woman right away, especially if he's looking for something serious. So that's not a red flag, that's actually a good thing. What you'll notice though is that he's going to try to pace the relationship when it comes to sex as he matures. He might not like be slow with the courtship because when a man meets a woman and he's very attracted to her, his natural inclination is to want to be with you and spend time with you and to not really rush it. It's just going to happen organically where he's going to want to spend a lot of time with you. The thing that you want to be careful with here is that if you allow this to happen very quickly, because he hasn't had a chance to win you over, he's going to get bored. And so he can't fall in love without this like emotional component. And the emotional component can only happen over a period of time. And this takes time to build. This is why it's really important not to move into physical aspects of a relationship with a man very quickly. Because if the physical is there before the emotional is there, then he's only going to see you in that way. He's only going to see you for, let's say, sex or for meeting his physical needs. And it's very difficult for a man to switch that off once he's established that you are the type of woman that is going to sleep with him very quickly. It's very hard for him to turn his brain off. So for men, it's really important that you like pace the relationship. I get into this more in the books and how I did this with my husband. And I get into that in the book and what men want. But pacing the relationship looks like not being so interested in any particular man. So if you are a high value woman, quote unquote, I don't like using these words, but many of you are familiar with these words. I'm just going to use that. If you're a high value woman is a woman that is very desirable to men and has a lot of options with men. If you are that type of woman, and I would like to categorize feminine women as high value women because feminine women have a lot of options with men. They can pretty much get any man they want. Their internal belief system is if not this man, then another man. They don't get excited by a man. How you know that you're a desirable woman is that it doesn't matter the status or caliber of a man that you are with or that you're dating. You are not into him, let's say. It takes a period of time for you to even assess whether you like him, and you will not give up your own day-to-day, like your needs, what makes you happy for a man. You're not going to just like stare at your phone all day to see if he's messaged you. You're going to have other interests. You're not going to only date him. So this is what high value women do when they meet men. And this is why quality men, so like the high value men, also end up being very attracted to these type of women. High value men also wants a high value woman, right? And when a woman gives herself away so easily, a man that is quality does not think that this woman is high value, because if a woman was high value, then she wouldn't be giving herself away so easily and so quickly, and a man wouldn't get bored. So this is the reason you want to pace the relationship, and the more inner work you do, the better you'll feel about yourself, and the more that you will believe you're a catch. So when you believe you're a catch, you are not so interested in any one man, because you know that in order for a man to get your heart, he's going to have to prove himself to you. And I also talk about this in the books where feminine women will test men. If you want to be with a strong man, you're not going to know if he's a masculine man or if he's a strong man until there's like a period of time where he's proven himself to you. And that is in his courtship. When a man has to overcome many tests to be with you, and a man has to like pace himself, and he doesn't get like your cookies right away, and he has to just be with you and enjoy your company, and he enjoys that, and he looks forward to meeting you next or talking to you next, and that anticipation is there for him. What happens is now he's slowly starting to fall in love with you. And the longer that you can stretch this period of time, the deeper he'll fall in love with you. Because again, men don't fall in love when you just give them everything and there's no sort of challenge. They fall in love when they've had to work for you, and that emotional attraction is building. If everything is just given to him so quickly, he's not going to fall in love with you. Another way that men fall in love is that when a man acts badly or behaves badly, and most men will, because most men also test women. And again, this is all unconscious. Like none of this is predetermined. If someone is thinking about testing their partner, then that's very unhealthy and it's toxic. Usually, a lot of these behaviors are unconscious. When a woman is testing a man and a man passes all these tests and he's overcome all these, let's say, challenges to be with her, his desire for her starts to increase. And when I say test, a test is, let's say a woman doesn't want to sleep with a man and a woman communicates this to her partner or to her man, and he's okay with it. For a feminine woman or a high value woman, in her mind, that's like a check mark. It's okay, this guy is in it for the right reason. He really genuinely likes me. Another test that most women will do, or feminine women will do, is they will not be in a committed relationship with a man until they know that it's moving into the direction that feels good to her. So for me, that was engagement. I was not looking to be anyone's girlfriend. When I met my husband, I was in my late 30s. So I think 36, 37. I had come out of a 7-year relationship with a previous man. He was a lawyer. He was just not the one. And when I moved into dating, again, I knew that I was not going to move into a relationship or a girlfriend, boyfriend type of relationship, because I knew that I wanted to be a wife and I was ready for that. And I knew I deserved that and I would get that. And I communicated that right off the bat with pretty much every man. And the man that is going to be very interested in you, or a high value man, to him, he looks at that as a challenge. And he also looks at that as a woman that knows her worth. And that's exciting to a man, because when a man can obtain you, meaning obtain your heart, after he's overcome all of these different obstacles, to him it'll look like an obstacle, but to you it's just being yourself. Your value increases in his eyes because you weren't so easy to get. Because he also thinks, it obviously, if she is like this with me, she was like this with other men, which also increases their value. And men really want to be with a woman that is not, let's just say, easy to get. They want a wife that they know is like predictable, she's trustworthy, she's loyal. And when you pace the courtship and you pace the relationship, a man gets this idea of you that you're a good woman. You're a woman that is going to be loyal to him. And again, that increases his level of loyalty to you and his like investment level in you, which then also makes him fall in love. Falling in love requires him investing in you. Pacing the relationship and him having to work for that is him investing in the relationship, him paying for dates, and him calling you, texting you first. Like, any level of investment that a man makes into you is a deposit into the love bank of you, right? So every single time that a man is thinking about you, is investing in you, is text messaging you, and every single time he is the one that has to make the effort to move towards you, his desire and therefore his love for you increases, because it's all interwound together. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. You can book a private session with me, email if you have a specific question, or you can book a private call with me and definitely get the books and the course. You cannot move into being a high value woman without having looked at yourself. And my course is just a really great place to start doing that for yourself. Okay, my loves, and I will see you on the next one.